What is up, YouTube? This is Stealthheart Gaming here, part 2 of this special Halo Wars Shenanigans. So in the last video, there wasn't much to show. We were all both building up our armies. Here's the first conflict of the game. I run into Boom's army, who begins to suicide my guy, so I go to suicide his. Apparently, though, the AI in this game is not smart enough to just try to suicide anything that gets in our way. They have to try to spin around everything. So Midget 9's army comes up behind mine, or some of his groups, to help shoot down these guys. In this point, that attack, I could not tell what was going on. There were so many suicide grunts and so many explosions, I had no clue who to attack, or who was an ally, who was an enemy. Second base, I build resources, because I think it's finally time to begin pumping out resources. So here's this entire attack going. Boom garrisoned his troops behind that crashed, I believe it's a Pelican, not sure. I don't know, it's something. So I bring my guys out, or actually I believe this is where my first push begins, or the charge. I move out, I run into some resistance. With my resistance I mean these couple groups. I suicide them just to keep them away from our base, and to give them a feeling like, hey, I'm coming for you, don't mess with me at this point in time. So I'm going, I see Mr. Bajiggle's guys shooting my turrets, which they're still trying to get that down. I suicide his guys. Here's more of Boom's people. I begin to suicide them. This whole time, Midget 9 stopped his strategy to start building up his army, because it's too late in the game at this point to even try to do anything. So here, I just start running past them all. My goal with this little, very few amount of suicide grunts is to just at least see what Boom is doing. Because if I see Boom, because I saw Boom's entire army, so I figured he's the one who's defenseless now. I say I go after him. I get in range, lo and behold, there's a shield generator. So even if I could get there, I couldn't even do anything. Here's Mr. Bajiggle's guys going to flank me. I activate the rage on my guy just because I can. I don't even know what I'm doing. Yeah, right, I'm going for the turrets, but I accidentally started slamming them. My Arbiter gets lit up. I really don't care at this point. I don't even use the Arbiter. He's just a nuisance to me. Actually, I think I just rebuilt him. At this point in the game, I still do not have the Age of Reclamation, surprisingly. I started building up my guys. The base is still locked, remember that. So here comes some of those guys. All my turrets are shooting them and lighting them up. I just now got the Age of Reclamation. So, some of you guys might still be wondering why I built this base here. I built it just to take their expansion. Also, for one more thing that I forgot to say in the last video, I use it for scouting information. If you could not tell, every attack they send to us will have to go right past that base. So here's Mr. Bajiggle. He is still attempting to take this base down. I don't know what he's even thinking at this point. He's trying so hard to destroy this base, when he could be using those troops to actually do some damage to our main base. I don't know what he's doing. To me, it was a waste of time and a waste of money, because all he did was blow up 2 turrets. I mean, those I can rebuild easily. The best thing he could do is at least try to take down my main base, which has no shield generator on it whatsoever. So I don't get why he didn't just attack my main base, which I can't rebuild easily, because that's my main source of income. If my main base goes, I lost this game, but no, he was too busy trying to take down my second base to do anything. Midget 9 began to continue his tactic once again. Then here, I figured just to be safe, I'm going to destroy my 2 warehouses and build more shield generators. So they're still sitting there, they're shooting my base. Here comes Midget 9's troops. I don't know what happens here. I think he might have... No, Mr. Bajiggle's suits. Again, he's wasting resources trying to blow up this base, which as soon as my shields go, I knew I was just going to open that thing and just start sending all my suicide grunts after him. Which gladly, I think he eventually gave up, because at this point in the game, I was complaining like, I was sitting there trying to talk him out of attacking the base, which I actually did, I think, successfully, because I told him, like, hey, you're wasting your suicide grunts, you're wasting all your resources on trying to blow up this base, so I'm not producing anything off of it. He did not know, though. I'm pretty sure he still does not know you can lock your bases so he can't see the troops. So he has no clue that I'm building my entire army at that second base. So at this point in the game, I don't know who this battle is raging between. I know Boomk is in there. Boomk and Midget 9, they're raging a little battle. Boomk ends up charging his Arbiter past the entire battle. I think he's going to try to attack our main bases. If I remember correctly, he seemed to do that a lot in this battle. And I believe at this point in time I finally convinced Mr. Bajigles and Boomk to leave my second base alone, because I just pumped in so many resources into that. Blowing it up is just doing me a favor. So yeah, I kind of did that. Midget 9 is still sending all those guys. I don't think he knew he had a group garrison in that Crash Pelican. So Boom's Arbiter, which I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if I show it actually. I can see on the map right now. Yes, he's right there. He's running past our bait, running past Josh's second base to go to our main. I don't know what he's thinking. So I'm sitting here. I'm getting ready. I'm waiting for another group to finish up, and I'm getting impatient. So there, I see it. I go, and there's his Arbiter. I could not have gotten that group at a better time. Granted, the turrets are doing a lot, but I didn't want to blow up the turrets. So there, he activates the Rage ability. I don't know what he's doing. It seemed like he stopped the Rage for some reason. So I finish off the Arbiter. It did nothing. It was a waste of resources. I don't know why he did it. Here, I finally convinced them to stop attacking my base. Forever it took me to convince them, but I finally did. So that was a huge mistake on their part, which I'm sure they're probably going to watch this video and realize how stupid they were for leaving that base alone. Never trust your enemy in a game, guys. Never. Even if they're your best friend, never trust your enemy. They can say they're not doing anything when granted they're probably building up like 3 separate scarabs. Even though it's not possible, I'm sure they're still doing it. Never trust your friends in a game, folks, especially if you're on opposite teams.
Base under attack.
So I believe, okay, I'm building up more suicide grunts. They have to keep running past my base, so I can see them every time they go to attack. They're not achieving anything. So I'm sitting here, I'm checking everything, making sure everything's okay, you know, continuing to build up my army as Midget 9 continues to decimate his own by doing the early rushes, which is really insanely helpful to you guys will see. I'll just say it's very helpful in the long run. In the early game, it seems like it was a waste of resources because they got lit up every time. It was really helpful simply because neither Boomk or Mr. Bajigles want to do a huge push because they figured we probably have a base camped out somewhere, like above my old one, making suicide grunts ready to attack. They were skeptical about attacking. There's more of Mr. Bajigles guys. I thought he was going to attack my base. I don't know what those guys were doing. Apparently they think my base is pretty and want to stand next to it. Then here I believe I finally tell them once and for all, you're wasting your time blowing up this base. You're not going to achieve anything. You don't even build a second base, so there's no point in it. So I believe that's Boomk who's setting all his guys over. I unlocked my base for some reason. I don't know why I unlocked my base. Why did I unlock my base?
Local units.
I think I unlocked my base to stop their attack and to see how much damage I can deal.
Local units.
So Boomk ended up seeing that I did this.
Local units.
I think at this point in the game, Mr. Bajigles has no clue where any of those grunts came from. So he's kind of freaking out. I sent all my guys towards Levi Boomk's base. But I think the attack, and then I relocked my base. I don't want any of my guys getting killed again. So here I'm going. Mr. Bajigles at Boomk ends up making enough guys to not kill me because at this right now I'm not trying to deal damage to armies. I'm trying to do a suicide run straight to their base. If you couldn't tell by the number in the corner, well, you can't tell now. The numbers were slowly dwindling. It came from 19 to 11 before I even got to their base. By the time I got to their base, I'm pretty sure. By the time I get to the base, they're at 10, and they slowly go down. At this point, I was asking Vision 9, hey, what should I do? What should I do? He said take down the turrets, so that's what I do. I think I end up blowing up one turret. Not really worth it. I think right now I only have 2 groups left, down to 1. that one gets slaughtered. So that entire push just completely failed. I don't think it would have failed as hard if I just either waited and waited. Wow, that was horrible. And waited for them to get out of sight before I started unlocking my base, or if I actually started shooting their armies before I began moving out, because I think that gave them a huge advantage. Because I had knights in groups, they had like 5, but I wanted to go right for their base. That was probably the fault on my behalf, because I let them just take pot shots at my army, dwindling it down to 11, and letting a measly 2 actually get to the base and blow something up. So that push horribly failed. At this point in the game, Midget 9, this time, he truthfully stops his tactic. He knows, since my attack got completely destroyed, he knows it's probably not the best idea if he sat there. So I see Boom, I don't know what he's doing. Apparently he misclicked because he didn't even realize he sent all his guys up here. Because I said, dude, why are you attacking my base? Waste of time. He goes, and then he was all confused. He came up here, saw him, and I believe he calls them all back. Because, again, it will take forever to take down that base. By the time they do, both Midget 9 and I will have our armies up and running. There he goes. It was some misclick. I don't get how you misclick that much, but whatever. I think a major role in the thing was if they waste their time blowing that up, they give us more time to build an army and try to end the game quickly, which doesn't happen at all. So right now we're kind of in the I probably shouldn't say it. Yeah, at this point we're about, I believe, like 25 minutes into the game or so. This is basically the calm before the storm. No one's attacking, no one's moving out. It's just one of those things where, like, you don't know what's going to happen next, so you're waiting for that one person to make the mistake of moving out his army first. That's my opinion on this whole thing. I was seeing if there was some way I could transport my troops from my main to this base. Only way I would do that is if I built the Arbiter, which I didn't want to waste my money on it, because that's more money I could be pumping in my suicide gruns. And still need to be rebuilding my suicide grunt army if I didn't win the game quickly. Oh, sorry about that. So, I like to call this a calm before the storm. I'm not moving out, Midget 9 is not moving out, Boom isn't, and neither is Mission with Jiggles. We're all kind of hanging back. We haven't seen much. My second base hasn't seen them move out at all. So I don't know if they're planning. I had no clue at this point if they were taking other bases, if they were trying to go skirt around my base. Either way, they would have to get through Midget 9's entire army to do something. And then even if they did get through his, they would have to get through mine. And mine's not that big for specific reasons. Here, we don't take a little break. We wanted to be able to communicate with our teammates better. And apparently when I left the party, Mr. Bajigos began to rage because he didn't want to because he figured it was stupid. But we do it. I really didn't care if he got upset or anything. So I send Midget 9 the invite. He joins. We start discussing out what we're gonna do. So in the calm before the storm, I go in my party, make invite only. We start talking. We start strategizing. Like, hey, I'll move out now, or maybe we should attack together. Maybe we should attack both guys, because if we all attack, boom, Mr. Bajigos will bring his entire army over and flank us. We didn't want to get taken down this fight. We wanted to win. We were going to win. We were not sure if we were going to win, actually. So here, right as soon as I see Mr. Bajigos moving his entire army past my base. Good thing I built this base here. Good thing they didn't destroy it. I'm building suicide grunts. I immediately tell Josh, Mr. Bajigos is doing an all-in push. And that, my friends, ended the calm before the storm. He made the first mistake. This is the end of part 2. See you guys at part 3. Subscribe, comment. I'll see you guys in a couple minutes.